Uh, Welcome back, everybody. We're doing a very special Discord episode.
What makes this one special compared to the others? I thought what we had was special.
No, I have some news for you, Knight.
Give it to me straight, dog. What is it?
I'm breaking up with you, man.
No, we just tested the recording. Idiot. It was just fun. You mean oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, very tragic. Very sad.
Sorry, buddy. I just don't think it's working out.
You're not sorry. Don't lie to me.
I'm not. And welcome back to the King's Cabinet. We're
Where
after our very unfortunate breakup. The King's Cabinet is now in session. We tried.
I think it has an echo effect. I think that's atmospheric, I would say.
Yeah, I wasn't in sync, but yeah,
I'm trying my best here, okay?
it's fine. we're, we're doing a remote session tonight, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Even though we'll still get hate for it in the comments anyway.
Hell yeah.
That's how you know we're doing our jobs right.
True. We're doing great.
Are you sure about that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, if you say so.
We're not getting one view an episode.
What are you talking about? We're raking in views left and right.
Sure.
You know, I'm not getting left and right. Dates.
What's that? Dates?
Much like the topic of this episode.
Oh yeah! This is dating part 2.
Because dating part 1 just wasn't enough.
No. We need to talk shit on dating more.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about. We just couldn't fit it all into one.
True.
So we're here, back at it again, with another.
And it definitely is more relevant now because Valentine's Day is quickly approaching.
I think, well, by the time we upload this, it'll be Valentine's Day. Is that right?
Possibly?
Yeah, something like that. It'll be close enough. See, we keep the topic, we keep the content topical to what our viewers are going through in everyday life.
True.
And that's just great.
Yeah! Totally!
Don't sound totally down with that, champ.
No!
Why not?
Because I have... Oh, wait, no, I can't say that. I probably shouldn't say that, at least.
Were you gonna say crippling depression?
I was gonna say AIDS.
How?
AIDS! It's what's for dinner.
Joker, you just said the same thing twice.
AIDS!
Which is another problem in modern dating. Hey, segue.
Whoa! That was a terrible segue.
But it's relevant.
Oh, yeah, true.
Everyone's just mad because it's true. Or at least, so I've been told. Who would have thought that sleeping around would cause problems down there?
That's crazy.
I would not have guessed that. Would you have guessed that?
Never. Not in a million years.
Not like there were diseases for that.
No. What is AIDS?
Just the way like as I was saying, I'm just thinking, yeah, it's not like there are diseases for that. Like someone just makes this up as they go.
Well, if you believe the conspiracy theories.
I don't. Well, at least not in this case.
I mean, fair.
I don't know. I mean, if you really want to mess with people's days, dating alone has that problem as is. You didn't need to throw in a venereal disease just to really hammer the point home.
Yeah, no,
You
but
catch my drift.
it spices everything up.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Well, it burns when you pee.
You should see a doctor about that.
Oh, um, yeah, about that. You
Well, I
might want to
see.
get
This
yourself
gets into
tested.
an interesting thing all about like.
Oh, what?
'Cause one thing we didn't talk about last time was body count,
True. Um,
which is something kind of. I shouldn't say it's unique to modern dating, but it's certainly a more relevant issue than before because people don't like talking about it, probably because they know it's a bad thing for
true,
many reasons.
but I've also seen the other side of that coin where people are literally bragging about their body count.
But why would you want to brag about that though?
Just
See, that's where those people lose me. It's like, yes, I love the risk of diseases of such nature being more prevalent. I don't know, just something about it just kind of seems off to me.
I think it's just the hookup culture. Like how many times you've successfully gotten that to work for you, in a sense.
I mean, if that's how you measure success, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but what's that? It just if it's the end in and of itself, I don't really see the point.
Yeah. Like
I don't know, it's just not a very it just doesn't seem like a very healthy way of going about it.
not
Which
at
is the
all.
problem.
Like I've had things like that happen before, but it feels empty. It feels meaningless. Like
See, like that's what I don't get, right? Like you get these people who are going for more casual hookups, and then they wonder why they're depressed.
right, because at that point you're basically just seeing yourself as for lack of a better term, piece of meat. And that's fucked.
I mean, the sad thing is, yeah, like people they fall for this crap, but at the same time, they also allow this to happen, which a pity well can only go so far, but it still sucks.
True. Like that's what most of
Uh,
the apps are tradition like they get a bad rap for it, but there are people trying to find something genuine, but thrown into that mix are the people that just want casual shit.
oh
And
no, there are definitely a lot of people that are they're going for something serious. I know a friend from college who he's met a guy on I think it was Inge, and what it is, it's going pretty well for them right now.
wow,
But they both were pretty clear with what they wanted.
right.
Like they want a family, they want all that jazz down the line. But maybe it's because of the reputation that the sites and these kinds of places have gathered.
Yeah.
It's not the place I would look, only because the clientele seems to just get worse and worse as a whole.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is true or not, but in my experience, there are a few people who are labeled as toxic, in a sense, to where
A
they're
few people.
well, yeah. It started with a few people, but then that bred with people breeding, like in a sense.
That's a good word for it.
Thanks. And now it's literally ingrained into the culture.
And people are just okay with this. I just don't see the benefit.
I mean, it's something you just have to put up with, you know?
But see, the thing is, I don't feel like you should have to.
No, but
It just feels like most people lose
yeah,
in a market where, okay, well, life isn't fair,
no,
and obviously, to an extent, I don't think it should be. But then
yeah,
again, I think we're making it harder on ourselves than it should be
right. But
in this particular case.
yeah, no, I see where you're coming from, but I don't think there's any way to essentially downplay the difficulty of it all, or any way to diffuse that difficulty. Because some people have such high standards for, well, everybody should have high standards for who they're gonna date, but a lot of it ends up being superficial, and the people who can't match that end up alone, I guess.
Well, that's what it comes down to. Is that are the standards actually reasonable? You'll get people where, for example, they'll not talk to a guy after the first date because he wore a brown belt with black shoes. Something which, okay, there's at least I understand the basis for the argument where, oh, they don't take care of themselves, they don't care about their appearance. Now, granted, those two things don't go together.
Sure.
However, you're gonna surmise a person's entire being based off of that one little tidbit about them.
That
And you might be missing out on something really great, even if their fashion sense isn't up to snuff.
right.
Just,
That
I
seems
think
ridiculous.
It's like you're extrapolating so much out of so little.
Right.
You're overthinking it, I think, is part of it.
Yeah, I see that. That whole thing makes little to no sense to me, but if somebody wants to hold that as a standard, I guess you can't really fault them for that too much.
But I mean, we gotta admit, it's kind of a dumb standard.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to criticize people's standards because some of them are just really dumb.
Yeah.
And look, that you can, and fair, I might have some dumb ones too. That I just don't see from my own perspective.
Right.
The thing is, like, if you're constantly getting the validation, getting the hookups, you're not going to be incentivized to change your bad behavior. That's the problem.
100%.
It's such a toxic cycle.
It
And
is.
I hate using that word so superficially, but really, there's no other better way of putting it.
It's, yeah, like, without using extremely harsh words, it's literally, it's garbage.
Garbage,
Garbage.
as some fancy people might say.
Yeah. The high society.
Yes, the bourgeois of society. Oh yes, well, how droll. Oh yes, he thinks it's very toxic. Wow, look at him go.
Toxic.
See, this is what I assume upper class people speak like.
Right. But we don't talk to upper class folk too much.
Upper. The fact that you use folk there just says it all. Like, we don't talk to your upper class folks here.
We don't talk to you. That's
It
my
sounds a lot worse
purse.
than it actually is, but it's so funny.
I don't know you.
That's my purse. Okay, imagine that, right?
Yeah.
You say you approach a girl,
Yeah.
modern dating, right? If you're not a good-looking guy, that's probably what will happen to you. You will get that's my purse. Like a verb.
Worst case scenario, yes. Also, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's a scene from King of the Hill where Bobby.
show.
Yeah, definitely. There's a scene where Bobby is taking a women's defense class, and there's a whole script where a woman is getting stolen from, and her purse is being taken. So the class teaches him that if that happens, shout, "That's my purse. I don't know you." Kick them in the balls and then run away. That is what we were referring to. I know explaining the joke sucks, but maybe it's an obscure reference.
Hey, context is always good to have. Plus, in all fairness, it is a pretty reasonable thing to do in that situation.
Yeah.
So let's just be real. That's the kill switch for a man.
Yeah. There's no coming back from
Speaking as a
that, no
guy,
way.
yeah, it's like that just makes sense.
Yeah.
It sucks, but that's how it is.
What else was I gonna say? Oh, another huge thing that ends up happening on these dating apps very often is timed responding. Do you know what? Do you get what I mean by that?
Is it like the idea where they purposely wait a certain length of time to respond? They're trying to garner a certain reaction.
Yes, exactly.
So, because it's just manipulation at that point, basically.
It feels that way. I don't know if,
Oh, it definitely is.
but the thing is on dating apps that happens quite often, and for some people it will happen with literally every message. And I get not responding right away, but waiting an exact amount of time before you respond to a person's message is, like you said, manipulation.
Well, that's the thing. It just drives people crazy. Like, oh man, I gotta get him to think about me and whatnot. And then you think, okay, hold on, back up a minute. So, you need to, oh, how do I put this? You need to tweak with someone's mental state just to get them to think about you.
That's
It's just saying it out loud just makes it worse.
yeah, definitely.
Like you think, doesn't seem off to people. Now, granted,
Apparently not.
people that are doing this, they're okay with it on some level, obviously, based off of their actions.
Right.
The culture on the apps it's just not good for this kind of stuff. It's not good
really
at all.
not. Like, the apps are really difficult, and I was talking to somebody. I talked to a ton of people from those apps and tried to get like a basis for why people do some things on occasion, and I've come to the conclusion with a friend of mine that I should stay off of them for now.
It's just better to work on yourself, that kind of thing.
Oh, for sure.
Just trying to deal with, frankly, the BS that it is. Because I consider myself a patient person, but even my patience has its limits.
Totally fair. And with apps like that, your patience will be tested, like, a lot.
See, that kind of thing where it's the purposefully delayed response. That kind of thing. I don't tolerate that kind of BS.
Oh yeah, it's annoying to no end, and if it's planned, it's all too common. So,
unfortunately,
mm-hmm.
I sigh as I say that because it's just so accurate.
Yeah. Oh, advice for everybody: make sure you have yourself figured out before you go into committed relationships. Make sure you know who you are before you introduce yourself to somebody that could be a potential partner.
You don't want to be, and I agree with you, Joker. You don't want to. How do I put this? You gotta have yourself put together, more or less, and I feel like, speaking from the male perspective, you're basically expected to be that way. To have yourself all ready to go. So in that sense, it's not fair, but that is what it is.
Mm-hmm. It's just, it do be like that.
Again, that's just. I'm not trying to say woe is me when I say that. A lot of people, when I say this to people, they get the impression that I'm complaining. I'm simply saying that's just a statement of fact. That's how it is. Now, that being said, you should have yourself put together as much as you can, regardless of what you're doing in life. Especially when it comes to actually forging a connection with someone. Mm-hmm. If you actually intend for it to be serious, because I'm not convinced most people want it to be serious on these dating apps.
There's...
At least the impression I get is it's more fun than actual seriousness until you reach a certain age. Especially if you're a woman, where you reach a certain age, and then it's suddenly, oh crap, I gotta find Mr. Right.
I see what you mean by that, but my impression after having been on so many of the apps is it depends on the one you're on. There are apps like
Right.
Tinder that are a mix, but it seems mostly hookup, like it's mostly hookups. And then there's apps like Hinge and Bumble and even OkCupid where it's people looking for genuine relationships, genuine connection.
Mm.
Like not sponsored by Hinge or anything like that, but the whole motto of that app is it's designed to be deleted. So once you find your perfect person, the app will literally ask you, "Hey, do you want to delete this app?" After you say that you've met the person that you were talking to.
Which, good marketing, first of all.
Absolutely.
I will commend them for that. Although let's be real, it's fortunately sometimes deleting the apps is more so a result of frustration than success. But
For sure.
again, I haven't heard a lot of success stories, so I'm willing to be. I hope I'm wrong on that. I want to be wrong.
I no offense or anything, but obviously I kind of hope that you are too. I hope that people find success. I hope people find love. I hope shit works out for anybody on those apps.
Well, assuming that's what you're going for.
Yeah. And if what you're going for is the casual thing, then by all means, I hope you get success in that too. It's not my
Certainly.
thing, but
Right, right.
sorry, what were we gonna say?
But kind of jumping off of that, it's important to also keep in mind tempering expectations is a huge thing that, in general, that's something that I think younger generations aren't good with, as is, especially ours.
What do you mean by tempering expectations?
Like, as an example, right? I'm going to go on and, like, if I conduct myself certain ways on the app,
Right.
like, okay, from this perspective of me as a man,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I act a certain way, then I expect I will get the girl I want easily. But if I'm not doing things that make myself marketable, acting in ways that make myself marketable to my, I guess, to my demographic, if you want to call it that,
I would.
then I shouldn't be kicking and screaming when I don't get what I want if I'm not doing the things that would get me to that goal.
See, but there's another thing with that is you need to be your genuine self to forge an actual connection with somebody.
No, and I agree. Problem is, a lot of the time, people are being manipulative and not being honest on the apps.
True.
Like what we're talking about with the delayed messaging, or in many cases, like for example, many guys where they won't tell you this, but like they don't want a high body count on someone. Saying that it doesn't really jive well with many people on the
Right.
apps. But then you kind of have to lie by virtue of that, which it's not just a problem with dating apps in general. That's just a dating thing
Yeah.
as a whole. That's simply to say that you have to be, in some ways, you almost have to certain things, which, as much as it sucks, it's just how it's set up.
Yeah. Like it's just something you have to deal with. Like like you said, people being obsessed over a high body count, for lack of a better way to put it.
Again,
That, yeah.
I wish the best for you, but
But it's not everybody's thing. It's not my thing. If you want to do that, that's all you. The thing is that some people have an issue with somebody having a high body count. But that's just the reality of dating. Like, you don't know somebody's past or if they're being truthful about it ever, really.
and that's the thing. Like, you gotta. A lot of people implicitly understand that lying about it can be beneficial because Simply put, many people know that there's certain things that aren't conventionally desirable or undesirable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, if I want certain guys or certain girls, I have to be dishonest about certain things.
Right.
I think the issue we're seeing is that many people were being dishonest about the wrong, or how I put this, we're being honest about the wrong things and dishonest about the wrong things. It's like almost like we have it flipped.
Mm-hmm. It's hard, like, to know the levels of what you can say at times, what you can disclose to who or whom. I don't know. But yeah, it's finding the level of what you can say that isn't going to negatively affect whoever you're talking with or the relationship with whoever you're talking with.
It's not, well, easier said than done.
Definitely.
I'm sure many people will know. I mean, again, Joker, you have way more experience on the apps than I ever will, because I've never been on them, but what you've described can be a bit of a challenge to deal with. I mean, not only just people being honest, but in general, people just communicating effectively.
That's true. There have been so many times on these apps that it's the conversations that people have had have gotten down to just one word. Like, me personally, that drives me insane. Just one word responses, one word conversations. Now, that might just be extreme personal bias, but if you don't want to respond or if you're not in a good mood, just don't look at the message. Does that make sense?
You can just say, like, hey, today's been a rough day for me, like, I just need some space.
Hmm?
If the person takes it the wrong way, then, I mean, the best you can do is be honest and hope that they understand.
Yeah. But, people don't want to deal with rationality or behave with rationality.
Easier said than done. Because you have the system, too, where we're mostly just talking about, like, straight relationships, but then it gets even more crazy when you get into, like, lesbian relationships, gay relationships. Things get weird.
They definitely can. I haven't had any real experience with any of that, obviously, but it seems like murky at best.
And this is something that we didn't touch on in the last episode, because this goes down a whole other rabbit hole, which actually we can do that right now. The basic, because the one thing that we kind of, and King was kind of mentioning this last time too. It's simply put, so in a heterosexual relationship, the gender roles are pretty pronounced. Everyone implicitly understands how things flow between man and woman.
For sure.
Then, the case of like a same-sex relationship where two guys or two girls, then assuming that you're sticking within the binary of the roles, that's where things can get odd, because then you have to think, well, who fulfills what role? You might think, well, okay, not one person has to fill the role.
Right. Or
what happens is implicitly we understand that someone does. Our brains are saying one thing, but I guess we're telling ourselves another. It essentially creates the issue of, okay, well, I'm gonna go about things this way. You're gonna go about things that way. Question is, who's gonna be like what in what scenario?
I guess
this is especially pronounced in lesbian couples, where one person acts more feminine where the other acts more masculine, typically speaking. And that can create all kinds of weird confusion.
But that's if that even works out that way. Because they don't necessarily need
Right.
to fulfill those roles, but that could come naturally in the relationship, I guess, if it's not somebody's personality off the bat.
And I get what you're saying. It's not necessarily a hard and fast thing where it is bound to happen no matter what. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, it is likely that it could happen. And what I think a lot of people don't realize is, likely it is going to play out that way, whether you intend to or not. Question is, how do you deal with that when that likelihood of outcomes will occur?
Right. And that's going to be it could be a problem, depending on how well the couple communicates. But you could sail right on by it. It could just not be an issue. It just depends on who it is, their maturity, and how well they can communicate.
Right. It's a matter of how well you can handle the balance. Just especially with young people, especially if you don't have a lot of experience dating, that can be a very difficult problem for many people to overcome.
For sure.
Really, think about it, right? How do you already navigate the complexity of a relationship, which, like what many people may say, they're not easy.
No.
And frankly, if it's easy, you've either found the right person or the other person just isn't talking enough to you. As sad as that sounds.
Yeah, no, but
it's I'll put it this way. It's pretty sus if the person isn't communicating much to you about something important.
right.
That goes both ways.
Oh, I had a joke earlier.
Ooh, tell me.
When you said down the rabbit hole, I was gonna say we're not talking about furry dating. Yeah.
Dare you bring up furries on this channel?
Sorry, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to.
That's okay, I forgive you.
All right, cool.
And before anyone asks us in the comments, no, I don't know about the intricacies of furry dating. I would not know. And frankly, I don't know if I want to know.
I don't know either. You do you and enjoy it, I guess, as long as you're not harming anybody
It just...
or any animals.
Well, okay, well, if there are animals involved, then that's a completely different...
Problem?
That's a completely different thing entirely.
Oh, yeah. It's also a problem because I believe...
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm fairly sure it's legal in 99% of the states.
Engage in that behavior, please.
Please don't. Be smart.
I will arrest you. Citizens arrest.
Be smart, everybody. Don't fuck your pets.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
Let you do your own research.
Or just don't research it. You could leave that topic completely out of your mind if you really want to.
I'll put it this way: if you want to be upset about something, then
Watch the
you know where to
Christian
look now.
documentary. Oh.
that too. That is, I had to stop watching that because it's just so.
It's hard.
Depressing is the only word I can use to describe it. It's just that awful.
It's heartbreaking. Like,
Because there's a little bit of Chris Chan in all of us.
What is he, Genghis Khan?
Him too.
Oh.
I hate how accurate that is, but you are right. Seriously, you're not wrong at all.
No.
That's why I'm sad by it.
And I've only heard a few stories about Chris Chan, or about a few pieces of Chris Chan's story, to put it in a better way. And they're all terrible. It's sad.
Sad, and kind of to tie it back to the whole dating topic, which, trust me, it does feed back into it, because, and Joker, I don't know if you're aware of this part of the Chris Chan lore.
Oh no.
Are you aware of his love quest?
Sort of.
think about the way he goes about trying to date, given all the issues that he has.
Didn't he use dating apps and things like that at the time? Well, when he was still a he?
Right, yeah, back then, well, how do I put this delicately?
Yes.
Chris Chan, he talked to various girls, which, well, they weren't actually girls, they were trolls, basically just messing with him, which
Yeah.
coolly messed up in its own right, but that's besides the point. You have Chris Chan dealing with the problems in this way, and it's just, you have someone who's as socially awkward as Chris Chan is. Shouldn't be shocking that it ends up in complete failure.
Yeah, but the level that it ended at, or that it is at now, because I'm sure eventually there will be something more, is insane.
There's always more to the story. That's for sure. It just, if you're going in for the wrong things, like clearly Chan wanted, among other things, basically just
Companionship.
how do I put this delicately?
Mm.
Sugar mommy.
Oh, is that the intent behind the love quest?
Well, okay, when you analyze Chris Chan's behavior and the person says, yeah, at least that's a delicate way of putting it, and I'm being very delicate. It just goes further than that. In essence, that's what Chan was going for, and you can see how well that's worked out for the Sonic fan. Put it that way.
Yeah. Let's change.
For those of you who are Christorians, I know I am overlooking a lot of stuff. But this is just an aside on the topic itself. Chris Chan could be an episode unto its own. Easily.
We could do that eventually.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want you to get even more depressed over researching it.
It doesn't matter at this point, to put it delicately.
It's when you've seen the things that we've seen, you'll understand.
Let's change the topic.
Yeah.
Woo!
I'll right back to dating, which is what we were talking about.
Right. One other thing is you have to, with dating apps, you have to open up with a line to get your message noticed. And a lot of the lines are really stupid.
Like kind of like a pickup line. Like say you're in a bar, you use a pickup line to get the person.
Exactly.
Or concept.
Yes, it's that concept.
Okay.
I have one, and it works, I guess. I'll just say it. Screw it. If you like this one, absolutely use it. It's yours if you want it. It's dark. It's a compliment. It's really fucked up if you think about it. But yeah, it's
things like if they understand that, I think if they understand it, I think they'd find it funny.
yeah. Plus, our generation has love for dark humor, so I think that's part of the reason it always goes over pretty well.
That's the thing with using dark humor in pickup lines. It's like if the person can't handle the joke, then created quite a faux pas for yourself.
Well,
But
that's if they decide to
can.
respond. Yeah.
a good sign. Like it's such a hit or miss strategy, but when it hits, it hits.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At least as far as I understand it.
Yeah. But if it misses, it's either an instant unmatch or just no response, which is fine because that. If you know me, you know that that's my sense of humor. My sense of humor is dark and dumb. And if that line doesn't go over well, then it probably wouldn't work out anyway. I don't know.
Just imagining the Filthy Frank soundbite where it goes hilarious and original, and then it just shows him laughing maniacally. Hilarious and original.
What was the other one? Ooh, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Oh yeah.
It's time to stop.
If I met a girl that unironically likes or loves Filthy Frank,
Yeah,
that's already
that's a great.
we're
sign.
already talking. That's already going to create sparks flying. You feel me?
Oh yeah.
Of course, if you like Filthy Frank, it's a good start. But then again, it could also go really horribly. So I'd have to be very careful with you from that point on.
Yeah, it depends on whether or not you like. Yeah, I guess ironically or are genuinely screwed up. I guess.
I mean, at that point, what's the difference?
I mean, I got nothing. I got nothing for that.
Is it unreasonable to say that? I don't think so.
No, it's
Look, if you're messed up like that, it's better that you're honest about it, because then you can find someone who's just as messed up as you.
true. And then you can both go to group therapy.
Because y'all probably need it.
Well, everybody needs a little therapy now and again.
You know, as one does.
Even if King disagrees, he's not here to disagree.
I guess it depends on the person
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
yeah, but I don't know. It's my personal belief everybody should at least try it because there's probably something going on in your head that you don't want to talk about.
At least give it a shot if you feel you need it, and then see where it goes.
True.
You never know.
Well,
Literally, never know.
true. We are at 44 minutes. Do you want to keep going or do you want to end?
Let's end it here, and then we can test some other stuff first.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at TKCRG2021. And like, comment, and subscribe for more content as it goes to the rodeo. Yes, sir.
We are lower class.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. All right. And with that, King's Cabinet is adjourned. I don't think I picked up.
Was that a nice knock I did there?
Yes, sir. And Jimmy Jones.
Use your words, Joker. Use your words.
Have a good day, everybody.